talk about the Croods. Okay. What I really liked about Eep, apart from that she was ginger, that was good.
That's important.
Was that she was, she was athletic and muscly, and she was like a typical cave girl. When you saw her, what did you think of her?
I loved her. When I first saw her animation, when I was auditioning for the Croods, they gave me a character breakdown and kind of, explained how feisty she was and how she's, really forging her own path and breaking out of the cave, so to speak. And then they had the animation of her next to it. And I was like, this is the best. This is all I want to do. This looks incredible. So, yeah.
And an animation's quite fun because, of course, it's all about your voice, isn't it? I mean, but at the same time, quite a lonely experience, I imagine.
It wasn't, because Chris and Kirk were so, actively involved in directing, and Chris would get up with me and just be, moving around, and my favorite things to do actually weren't the lines; they were the actual action, because he'd just be standing in the room saying, a rock's coming at you. Okay, you stepped on a twig. And I'm like, that was the most fun to do, because you're imagining this entire world and you're just reacting to it like a kid in a refrigerator box. It's really, really imaginative and physical and fun.
When you see the completed movie, I mean, Nick was just saying now that he had to look at the ceiling so he didn't get tears in his eyes, because some of it's really emotional. Is it emotional for you watching it as well?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. The father-daughter relationship is heartbreaking. The first hug and, him throwing her across. It's all very symbolic in the Croods. It's these, cataclysmic events, which is kind of symbolic of what it feels like in family when you're breaking out of the nest, and I'm sure what parents feel like when they have to let their kids go. And it's incredibly emotional.
It speaks to everything. It reminds me of the first time I was grounded when I was 14 as well. But what about you? I mean, you must have gone back and gone, oh yeah, I remember being a teenager.
I remember being a teenager, for sure. But I was lucky in the sense that my parents were we talked about everything, and they were pretty understanding about being me being a teenager. So it wasn't too strict. I had a different experience there.
They didn't go, it's all right, they went, you're a teenager. You're going to feel like this, right?
Exactly.
And then you felt patronised.
Exactly. It's like, you guys are jerks. You never understand me.
Okay, I'm going to ask this question because of my hair colour. Was it important for her to be a redhead, did you think, as well?
She wasn't originally a redhead. She originally had brown eyes and dark hair, and then they ended up changing her, and I was like, oh my God. When I saw the animation, she had red hair and green eyes, which was so, wonderful. I thought it was fantastic, and really makes her stand out. So, I like to dye my hair red. I'm not a redhead naturally, but I'm a great supporter.
Absolutely. I always feel supported by you. And
I love the red.
Yeah? Is it your favourite, do you think?
I love having red hair. I mean, blonde is the easiest because it just keeps growing out this way. But, if it weren't for Spider-Man, I'm sure I would still be red.
Oh.
Yeah.
Please do again. Right, I'm going to get a bit deeper now. Sorry.
Right.
From
no
Topshop and hair.
Yes.
Sorry.
We haven't gotten into Wagamama yet.
You love that too?
Take me to the yakisoba.
That is amazing, isn't it?
I love the yakisoba.
Yeah, no, that is cool. I'm glad there are some things about London that will keep you there sometimes.
Lots.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. I like the message about, you've got to go out there and live your life. You can't live in fear all the time. I think it's a great message for kids to have. And do you take that with you? Because Nick was telling me as well about his decisions in his career, trying not to stay where it's safe. And do you want that kind of career?
Absolutely. I mean, well, I think Nicolas Cage is like an unbelievable example of never staying where it's safe. I think he makes some of the riskiest and most daring choices that an actor can make, and that is so admirable. No matter what, that is really, really admirable and incredibly brave. He's like the Eep of the acting world. Forging his own path. I really admire it so much. I would absolutely love to be that brave.
But you're also